Hello bookworms, I'm Becca and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be talking about a new indie game that just came out on early release on Steam called Dinkum. Dinkum is the perfect blend of Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, and Minecraft, in which you play as a character that answered a help wanted ad to get out of this very gloomy city and kind of take back an old, overgrown island. It's set in Australia, and the wildlife and the terrain are very reminiscent of the Australian outback, which has been very interesting to play for sure. And you are tasked with getting residents to move onto your island and kind of reclaiming the land, building and renovating from the ground up. Instead of doing more of a beginning tips and tricks video, I wanted to focus more on things that I wish I had known when I first started the game. If you know anything about me, when I play Animal Crossing, I'm notorious for punting my island into the sun. So, of course, when I started Dinkum, that was the first thing I tested out, and I'm already on island number 3. So since this game literally has me by the throat right now and I've been playing non-stop, here are 3 things that I wish I knew before I started playing Dinkum. The first thing I wish I had known before starting is really think about your map and where you're setting up camp. This may seem like a no-brainer, but like I said, I have started a few different save files and quickly noticed that not all maps are created equally, so it's important to really think about where you're going to set things up. As far as we know, all buildings, including the base tent, can be moved, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be smart about where you're setting up your base camp. This is most likely going to be the hub of your town, and it's important to take a few things into consideration. Even before setting up your camp, make sure you take a good look at your map. You'll notice several different biomes that provide a variety of resources, animals, and terrains. At first, I put my camp right next to my airstrip, but on my first island, I quickly realized that this was a mistake for me because that map was very broken up by water, and every time I went out to collect resources, when I was making my way back, I found myself continuously getting lost while just exploring. Now, on my current map, which can we just take a second to talk about the joy that is having more than one save file? Animal Crossing could never. Anyway, I paid more attention to where I was placing my base camp and chose a section that was massive and actually includes all the different biomes. So now when I need resources or I need to go out exploring, I know that if I follow the river, I'll make it back to my camp eventually. And I've noticed that I'm more likely to go out and explore and fulfill different requests that pop up, which is a big part of the game. So if you're not happy with where you set your town up, you're probably not going to be happy playing the game. I've got 2 pro tips to go along with this. The first one that I found out recently is that if you open up your map, you can actually star your house, and it will act as a beacon on your mini map in the corner so that you know what direction you're going to get back to your base camp. It has been a lifesaver for me since I figured that out. The next pro tip is if you're out exploring, make sure to carry your sleeping bag in your pocket. That way you don't have to worry about making your way back home every time. Just make sure that you have extra food and that you set your sleeping bag down in a safe place. Which brings me to the second thing I wish I had known. Not all animals are friendly. This probably won't matter to most people, but as a casual gamer, I like to know exactly what I'm getting myself into with a game, especially if it involves combat, even very casual combat, like the hunting in Dinkum. From the trailers and early gameplay I saw before I started playing myself, it seemed like there were at least 2 animals that I had to watch out for, sharks and crocodiles. But once I actually started playing, I quickly discovered quite a few more. So, for all my fellow pacifists out there, here's a list of animal friends and foes. Other than sharks and crocodiles, I was very disappointed to discover that jellyfish are not the sweet, cuddly critters I hoped them to be. They are my favorite animal, and I was excited to see them bopping around in the ocean, but unfortunately, they will definitely sting you if you swim by, so make sure you steer clear. There are also these big black birds. I'm not sure of the name, but I mistook them for emus, and on my second save file, I made the mistake of setting up my base directly underneath their nest. Yep, definitely punted that island straight into the sea. By far though, the most intense animal that I have come across are these massive bush devils, I think they're called. They look like these huge devil dogs that may or may not spit fire. That is a big no for me. Luckily, they mostly stay sleeping, so you can easily avoid them and the other foes for that matter if you make sure you stay aware of your surroundings. The only time I've really passed out during a fight is during a fight that I initiated, not the other animal. Going down into the deep mines though is a much different story, but that's a different video. I think that I will just stick to feeding my chickens and vibing on my farm. Surprisingly though, not all animals want to eat you. Animal friends include dingoes, emus, jackaroos, echidnas, turkeys, and other small flying birds. However, some of those animals will fight back if you attack first, especially the dingoes and the echidnas. The third thing I wish I had known isn't really a tip, but I was very interested to see that Dinkum has a multiplayer aspect. I've been watching other people try it out while I slowly convince all my friends to sell their souls. Buy the game. Anyway, it looks like so much fun. You can open up your island for a private game, open it up to all your friends, whatever those are, or even open up your island for the public so anyone can join. I recently had a couple of my friends pop over to my island and it was a hoot and a half. They have access to different vehicles and items that I don't have access to, and so we had a blast running around together, even when it got a little glitchy. I also have popped over to a few islands that were open to the public, and I've been able to see islands that are at various stages of development, which has been really interesting and full of inspiration for me. The multiplayer actually allows up to 4 players to work cooperatively together on an island, which has definite pros and cons. The pros being how much can get done, especially when you're working together with friends. Along with goofing off, they can pretty much do everything on your island except place or move buildings. This includes being able to accept requests from a bulletin board, access any storage chests you may have, pick up and place items, and even build with you. There's almost no restrictions, which also means you should probably be careful if you're thinking about opening up your island publicly. I've definitely seen people have items stolen, which really sucks considering how long it can take to grind for some of the items, especially in these early days of the game. So I would suggest finding people that you really trust to play with. If you're looking for people to play with, feel free to drop by my streams or join my Discord. The links for all of that are in the description. Oh, and one more thing. Probably the most important thing I wish I had known is how addicting this game can be. It's been a while since I've been able to completely lose track of time in a game. The hours fly by and I have loved immersing myself in this environment. The game came out on early release on July 14th and I've pretty much been playing non-stop, ripped to my sleep cycle. If I'm not playing the game myself, I'm watching people play. I've even been dreaming about this stinking game. I'll leave some of my favorite creators playing Dinkum in the description so that you can check them out as well. There's certainly a lot of charm to this game, and seeing that it is early release, I'm interested to see what the future holds for Dinkum. So there you guys go. Those are some things I wish I had known before I started the game. I've been loving this, like I said, and every time I play, I discover something new. So if you'd like to see more videos like this talking about things I've discovered or keep up on the development of my island, make sure you hit that dink and like button and bop that sub button like it's dingoes invading your chicken coop. That's all I got for you today, and I will see you next time. Bye!